Hey everyone, it's JD. Hope everybody's having an awesome week. It's Thursday, I guess now, so the week's almost over. But I'm sure for a lot of you, it probably seems like it never ends. So I just want to address something today. Just three things, basically, and they seem to be the main three topics of conversation that I have with cleaning business owners on a day-to-day basis. And so I want to address them a little bit and just break down some elements of them and just what it kind of looks like or what it should look like in relation to how you need to solve these obstacles. So let's just jump into it and get started. And so number one is how to stop cleaning, right? And just run your business, right? So just be a business owner. So how do you do that? How do you stop cleaning? You have to forgive my handwriting; it's terrible. How do you stop cleaning? Maybe I'll try and make this so it's a little more legible. Uh, I don't even know if I can read it. How to stop cleaning and just be a business owner. So, how do you make that happen? And for some of you, it's going from just a solo cleaner type business, or someone that's got a few employees and you're still cleaning and you're wanting to transition to become a business owner. So how do you do that? Do you just wake up one day and say, okay, I'm doing it? Well, that's a good mindset for sure. And I'm pretty confident a lot of people do that. They just wake up and say, I'm doing it. I'm doing it today. I've had enough. But that doesn't necessarily create the most successful path to make that happen. So, no, you probably shouldn't just wake up one day and say, I'm doing it. That's probably not the best way to do it. You really need to put strategy and structure in place, and you need to look at your numbers as well, right? Like, these are important factors. So, you need to put some structure in place. You need a strategy to make that happen. And you need to know your numbers. And so, what do I mean by know your numbers? Well, if you're going to go from cleaning out in the field to running your business, your income's going to take a hit right away, right? So, you need to understand the breakdown of how much you need to grow your business to replace that income, and how fast you're going to have to grow to replace that income. How big of a safety net do you have to go from relying on that income all the time to having it cut in half or even less, and the space of time it's going to take you to replace that? What does that look like for you? You need to know if that's something you're comfortable with. And if you're not, you need to consider whether the timing's right, or whether you can put some kind of nest egg in place to allow you to do that. And then you need some kind of strategy in place so that you can grow and scale to replace that income in a timely manner, right? And you have to be careful how you do that, because you don't want the quality of your work or the quality of the employee that you hire to suffer as a result of acting out of desperation just to try and replace that income because you're transitioned to running the business. So that's really, really important. It's really important for you to understand what the additional costs are also going to be to have staff, right? So what are the additional costs going to be? What are the additional costs going to be for you to take on staff, right? So you need to look at that. You need to do a breakdown now of what you're paying your staff, because you might just be paying them, say it's $15 an hour, but to have a staff member, it's not just $15 an hour. There's other costs that come into play. There's the costs for you to equip them. There's the costs for you to train them. There's the costs for you to hire them. There's all the other costs associated with it in terms of state taxes, federal taxes, any insurances that you have, on and on and on, right? There's all these other additional costs that surround you having an employee. So you need to know those costs so that you can plan out your strategy, so you know what the time period is going to look like until you get back to that original income you had. It's important to know these things so that you're successful, so that you have it mapped out, so that you can get to that place in time, so you can be successful in that process. And you need to know what the additional costs are going to be for you to grow and scale to replace that income and to support bringing on employees. So you need to know those numbers as well. What does that look like? What does it cost you to acquire a new client, so that you can, and how many clients do you need to acquire to get to the place in time where you've replaced that income back that you're missing as a result of now having an employee doing what you used to do. So you need to know these numbers. In an ideal circumstance, you would want at least 90 days of what that looks like, so that you can have a strong understanding of what you're in for in terms of the hit you're going to take on your income, the costs associated with doing that, and the plan that you're going to have in 90 days to try and replace that income. Because in the best scenario, you're going to want to try and get that income back that you're missing inside of 90 days, because it may be hard for you to sustain that financially, and you may just walk away and then go back to cleaning. So you need to have all these elements in place so that you genuinely understand what that looks like, what the process looks like. And the reality is, if you can put that structure in place, put that strategy in place, and have a plan, you're going to be more successful at the process of transitioning from out there in the field cleaning to just running your business. So with those things around you, and with that understanding of whether the timing is right or not right for financial reasons or whatever reasons, it allows you the ability to make an educated decision and then go down the road with a roadmap that will help you be successful in transitioning, so that you can start to have the business that you want, less stress, less hours worked, and you're a legitimate business owner. So those are some key factors in that process that need to be in place and that you need to have an understanding of before you proceed from being a cleaner to a business owner. All right, so what is number 2? So the number 2 topic of conversation is how do I get cleaners, right? How to build a superstar team, right? So that's really, really important. How do you build a superstar team of reliable cleaners, right? People that are going to help you grow and scale the way you want to, in terms of the dream you have for where you want your business, your goals and dreams for your business. So again, it's not much different than here, in that it's really important that you have structure, right? Strategy, and what else do we have here? And a process, right? So a plan. So it's really important that you have these elements in place so that you can build a superstar team. And many of you have heard me talk about this before. We talk about it all the time, and that is that most cleaning businesses do not have a proper structure or strategy or process or plan in place to bring new team members into their business. They're hiring out of desperation, and 9 times out of 10, actually more than 9 times out of 10, probably 99% of the time, it fails. It doesn't work long term. And in order for you to have long-term success and sustainable success for your business, you need to get it right. And the elements or the reasons why people don't get it right are very easy to understand, but not so easy to take on board when you're a cleaning business owner. Because if you're working all the time and you're stressed out and you're tired and you're worn out and you know you got clients you got to serve tomorrow, but you don't have enough staff and you don't want to lose those clients, so you're desperate, so you got to hire somebody. You know, this is kind of what it looks like. But you can't put a Band-Aid on a situation like that, and that's what over 90% of cleaning business owners do, is they're fighting putting the proper structure, strategy, and process in place, plan in place, whatever you want to call it. They're fighting that because they're acting out of desperation. And you need to slow down. You need to slow yourself down and realize if it's not working, you need to try a different way. And the way to do that is to slow your process down. If it's going to cost you a couple of clients right now, or potentially cost you some revenue right now, if you slow that process down and put the right structure and strategy in place, long term, you're going to be way more successful, you're going to be way less stressed, and you're going to have the business that you want. So sometimes in business, that's just reality, is that you have to take a little bit of a hit to get what you want. And if you're unable currently to build the kind of superstar cleaning team that you want, and to build the kind of business that you want as a result of that, then you need to change that. And the way to do that is to slow down. You slow yourself down and say, okay, in order to do this the right way, I'm going to follow a structure and a strategy and a process and plan. I'm going to follow that right through to the end. So on the other side of it, I have a team member that I know I can rely on, right? That is, and you're working the law of attraction. So you're attracting the right person. You've heard me talk about this before. And you're managing that person long term so that you can have a team that helps you grow and scale your business successfully. Now, the reality is, how successful can you be at doing this if you don't do this, right? Because these things are directly related, right? This and this are directly related. How can you effectively hire, train, look for, find, hire, train, continue to manage an effective team if you're not available to do that? If you're out in the field cleaning and you just don't have enough time to follow the structure, the strategy, and the process or plan, right? And it's not possible to do that. It's not possible to do both of those things. It just doesn't work that way. If you're going to be effective at it, to bring on a new team member, truthfully, it's going to take you a minimum of 2 weeks to a month to complete that process by the time you put an ad out, right? Do your interviews, so you do 3 interviews with them, right? We've talked about this before. You do a minimum of 2 weeks training, and if they need an extra week, you give them an extra week. So this process could take as much as a month until you bring on your first staff member. You can't do that effectively if you're still cleaning, if you're still out there cleaning. So, can you connect the dots a little bit there? It makes a lot of sense, right? That how important this one is. Because most people think that this is their number one problem. Most cleaning business owners think that not being able to get a superstar team of cleaners is their number one problem, but it's not. They're not able to build a superstar team of cleaners because they're not implementing these things. And they can't implement these things because they don't have the time because they're still cleaning. Does that make sense? So what's number 3? Number 3, lucky number 3. I love the number 3. That was my sports number. So number 3 is how to grow and scale predictably, right? Predictably. I don't know if I'm going to get this spelled right. You all know, because you watch all my videos, that my spelling is terrible. But how to grow and scale your business predictably. So how to get a steady stream of new clients coming into your business day after day, week after week, month after month, so you can support the staff, the new staff you're bringing on, and so that it's affordable for you to stop cleaning, right? And so that you can have the business that you dream of and have the type of quality of life you dream of as a result of having a great income. So how do you do this? Well, it's almost exactly the same as this, in that you need structure, you need a strategy, and you need a plan or process to do that, right? And there's many different elements to this. There's, God, I don't know, maybe 10 different elements to this. One is, opening up other new distribution channels. One is looking for opportunities in your business already with your team and your clients, et cetera, et cetera. Another is, your branded strategies. How is your business branded? Is it branded in a manner that allows for an opportunity for you to grow and scale effectively, right? In order to execute all these things, though, all these different elements to grow and scale effectively, you need time. You need to put in time to do all these things, to create a bunch of different strategies, and then to have timelines and tasks on how you execute them, right? You need to do all that stuff, and then you need to execute them. You need to take the time to execute them. But guess what? How do you do that when you're doing this? When you're cleaning houses all day, and then you have to come home and you have to take care of your family and get your kids ready for school, take your kids to sports, family events, functions. How do you do this? Number 3, if you don't have time, right? So again, like number 2, guess what? They're directly related. And these 3 are the 3 main problems that every cleaning business owner has or wants to solve, or is preventing them from having the type of business that they want. It's these 3. These are the 3 main ones. But the reality is, you can pack all these into just one actual problem, and that is that you can't be a cleaner and run a business, grow and scale it, have an effective team, and continue to take on new clients unless you stop cleaning and just start running your business. So it's really all boils down to this one problem. It's just this one problem. If you can solve this one problem, then the other ones will start to fall in line, because you'll have time and energy and effort to commit to these other 2 processes. But in order to do this, remember what we talked about, right? You can't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to do it. Although I love that mindset, like I said earlier, the fact that you could make that decision and say, yeah, I'm going to do that. Sorry, just give me a second. So the fact that you could do that is really important, that you can get in that mindset and say, I'm going to do this, but you need to put certain things in place, right? Like you need structure, you need strategy, you need to understand your numbers, you need to make sure you have a plan or a roadmap for the next 90 days so that you can transition effectively, so that you're not just trying, let's just do this and see if it works kind of thing, that you have a proper strategy and structure and plan in place, and you do understand your numbers, and you know how you need to grow, you know how you need to do all these things, right? To get to that point in time where you've replaced the income that's missing now, and that all the different systems and structures and functionality are working so that you can just run your business, and you do understand that you're growing predictably and that you are building a team effectively, and you can have the success that you're looking for in your business, obviously. So I hope that makes sense. Again, the biggest problem always relates to a few things, and one is mindset, right? And the other is being able to implement real strategies and structures and a process and plan. In the absence of that, it's guesswork. You're walking in the forest at nighttime without a flashlight is what it is. And that doesn't work. It's proven not to work. And that's why so many cleaning business owners have these problems, is because they're just trying to figure it out as they go, instead of saying, hey, I want a proven plan and process and structure and system in place so that I can make this happen predictably. So in 90 days, I know that I've solved these issues and I'm moving forward effectively as a cleaning business owner. Hope that all makes sense. As always, I'm always available for a strategy call if this is something you want to implement and get started, pointed in that direction, or you have any questions about what I've said today. Certainly always available to jump on a call and chat with you about that and see if we can help you get pointed in the right direction to solving How do I stop cleaning and become a business owner? I don't even think you could read that. My handwriting's so bad. Anyways, if you want to set up a call, click on the link around this video and set up a call, and we can jump on a call and help you try and figure that stuff out. Again, I hope you're all having an awesome week, and I hope that the success that you're dreaming of and looking for in your business is coming for you and you're working towards that. And I hope everybody has an amazing weekend coming up. Thanks so much. Have a great day, everyone.